All too often when we hear about the collapse in media trust in the UK, there seems to be an immediate pushback from some journalists that this is somehow unfair, unwarranted and undeserved. But look at the Remoaner conspiracy theory that was pushed for years by chunks of the mainstream media. And you start to realise that actually that collapse in trust is fully justified. The Remoaner conspiracy theory on Brexit, to try and stop Brexit, to try and discredit the referendum result, was pushed by many journalists and some outlets in a blatant attempt to undermine the Leave vote, the Brexit referendum result, a campaign that went on for years and is now increasingly discredited as time goes by. I'm going to bring you all the very latest on this, guys, but if you could please start off by giving this video a big thumbs up, click subscribe and the bell, I'd really appreciate it. Before I get to the latest development on just how this ridiculous, absurd conspiracy theory has been further discredited, let me just give you the context of where we are in terms of the media in the UK, because there's some interesting stats that have come out recently that unsurprisingly got very little coverage. YouGov recently found that just 31% of Brits trust the media when it comes to the current situation, the second lowest figure in 26 markets surveyed when it came to trust into reporting on the current pandemic. 31%, the second lowest figure on an international comparison of 26 different markets. The Reuters Institute for the Study of Journalism Digital News Report 2020 found that just 28% of people in the UK said they trust most news most of the time, according to a poll in January this year, down from 40% in January 2019. So that's down from 40% to 28% in a year. Trust in news in the UK is among the lowest in the world, according to the data in the Reuters Institute for the Study of Journalism Digital News Report 2020, which found that overall trust in the media continues to fall globally. So the idea that trust in the media falling is at a similar level to other countries around the world is false. That is not true. Trust in the media now in the UK is lower than many or most other countries, according to international comparisons there I've just cited too. And is it any wonder when we just look at this case study of this blatant attempt to push a conspiracy theory put about by hardline Remainers with a clear political agenda trying to stop Brexit. A probe into Cambridge Analytica has found no evidence it misused data to influence the Brexit vote. The 3-year investigation into Cambridge Analytica and its now defunct parent company SCL followed a whistleblower's claim that it had illegally harvested personal data to influence the outcome of both the Brexit referendum and the 2016 US presidential election. In a letter to Julian Knight, the chairman of the Digital Select Committee, Elizabeth Denham, the Information Commissioner, said, "From my view of the materials recovered by the investigation, I have found no further evidence to change my earlier view that SCL/CA were not involved in the EU referendum campaign in the UK." The letter, which was published on Tuesday, said, "This has been a complex and wide-ranging data protection investigation, touching on some of the most contentious and widely debated issues of recent times." Guido did a great write-up of this. Guido Fawkes. The Information Commissioner has finally concluded its 3-year investigation into Cambridge Analytica. Its comprehensive report shared with the Digital, Culture, Media and Sport Media Select Committee. The investigation reviewed 42 laptops and computers, 700 TB of data, 31 servers, over 300,000 documents and a wide range of material in paper form and from cloud storage services. Guido brings you some select findings on whether SCL Elections Limited and Cambridge Analytica were involved in the referendum campaign. From my view of the materials recovered by the investigation, I have found no further evidence to change my earlier view that SCL/CA were not involved in the EU referendum campaign in the UK. On data practices of organisations on both sides of the EU referendum campaign, I identified no significant breaches of the privacy and electronic marketing regulations and data protection legislation that met the threshold for formal regulatory action on evidence of Russian involvement. We did not find any additional evidence of Russian involvement in our analysis of material contained in the SCL/C8 servers we obtained. The bonkers conspiracy theory, I think, is driven largely along class lines. There are a lot of posh, well-to-do people in the media living within their bubble who couldn't contemplate, who couldn't accept the fact that the majority of the people in this country wanted to leave the EU, that they knew what they were voting for, that they had weighed up the arguments and the leave argument had won. They looked down their nose at people. They sought to overturn. Just think about that. Sought to overturn the democratic mandate that 17.4 million people voted leave. And I'm angry about this because what you've seen in this case is an irresponsible, concerted attempt to push a conspiracy theory. And the thing that really gets my back up even more is when these findings come out discrediting it, the morons, the irresponsible muppets who put this dross around for years, where are they to be found? Have any of them stood up to be counted and say, oh, I might have got that wrong? I apologise. Do they hell? Instead, they just focus on the next falsehoods. I'm so glad that I was able to be a small part of ensuring that we did leave the EU. Because what damage to democracy these people would have done. If we had gotten into a situation where every time there's a vote, conspiracy theories are allowed to triumph over reality, over democracy, it would have been devastating for our society. And I'm glad that increasingly now these people are exposed as the crackpots that they are. And those who put them on TV and promoted this dross should be held accountable. It's unacceptable and it should not be allowed to happen ever again that these crackpot conspiracy theories are pushed by people supposedly in positions of authority and responsibility in the media who should damn well know better. And it shows you yesterday when I spoke about Channel 4 and I said, would any of you care? I said on Twitter to my followers, would you guys care if Channel 4 no longer existed? No, 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 no came the responses. The mainstream media need to wake up, get real and get a grip. Now some of the reaction to this, Nigel Farage saying, Channel 4 News, where are you? And this is the game that we see so often from some media outlets. They push the conspiracy and then when the truth comes out, it gets a small mention, if not brushed under the carpet completely. Andrew Neil, strangely, the conclusions of this official report are not getting quite the same traction or prominence as the papers in so many media outlets several years ago that Cambridge Analytica had essentially swung it for leave. I'm shocked. Andrew Bridgen, the Conservative MP. So the Remainers are wrong again. No breaches of privacy in electronic marketing regs and no evidence of Russian interference in the Brexit referendum. Guess people just wanted to leave and vote for it. That's democracy. Ladies and gentlemen, I know the vast majority of you watching this voted leave, voted for Brexit, and weren't willing to be mugged off by these pathetic conspiracy theories, by total lunatics, because it is that belief in democracy and the fact that the mainstream media can no longer bully people, lie to people, and get away with it. The British public saw through this conspiracy theory. If another one gets pushed one day, I'm sure they'll see through that again. But when the media question, as they often do, why trust in the media is collapsing, don't blame Donald Trump or anyone else. Blame yourselves. Because so many of you pushed this conspiracy theory. And by doing so, you proved why the British public are right, why the British public are justified and increasingly being disillusioned with mainstream media and the dross, the conspiracy theories that you try to shove down their throat. Guys, if you enjoyed this report, if you found it helpful and informative, please, would really appreciate it if you'd give this video a big thumbs up. Click subscribe and the bell so you don't miss future reports. And thank you very much for watching.